We're live.
Alright. Okay, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites, Gms Toronto. Giving all praises and honor. Kahalom, like Hawab, the blindness to the apostles.
No?
GMS, who well, we learn the truth from, and salutations unto brothers and a few sisters that take heed. Alright. We're coming live. We're not doing a camp session today. Today is the Passover of the Lord, all right, the Pesach, which is a solemn time, and it's a spiritual thing because right now it's a full moon. So that means there's going to be a lot of judgments worldwide, and people deserve it, man. They're proud, man. You people deserve it, and it's a good thing you have this a new plague, the coronavirus, man, fucking you people up.
That's right.
And that thing's going to bring a lot of shit into play, man. Because they're already warning, the World Health Organization, they're warning people, look, you can't use cash because that'll pass the virus, man. So it's just placing things, it's putting things into place, man.
Just right.
So if anyone got a scripture,
Quick precept, if anybody just wants to bring this up.
yeah, you guys got
This is Isaiah 42:1. So it says, "Behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." Okay? So that's the time that we're living in. The Lord is only simply working with the hopeful elect, starting with the apostles,
no, I'm just checking.
starting with the apostles and elders. And I'm going to say it of the great millstone. Okay? And Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, the king of terrors, is the one that's running this show. And as the elder just mentioned, right, this virus is timely. And as you can see, basically what the Lord is doing with it, okay? And the agendas that are behind it. Anyway, that's my point. Go ahead.
All right, so this is basically the Lord's assembly, solemn assembly, the Passover, and it's when dealing with the book of Exodus. So I'm going to go there for a scripture, and in Exodus 9 and 15, because the elder brought up the pestilence. And it reads, "For now I will stretch out my hand," and that's the Lord speaking, right? "That I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth." So this is the Lord's doing, man. So even though they're saying it's a man-made disease, man-made whatever, we all know that Most High is in control of everything. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
Well, the virus of the earth is Esau.
Gone.
Right? And that's the Lord's sword, man. So at the end of the day, it's the Lord in control, man.
Gone. Right. So this is Most High is just cutting people out of the earth because people are dropping dead like flies.
I got the word pestilence, right? On the item online, it's a noun from Old French, plague, epidemic, and from Latin, a plague, an unwholesome atmosphere. And that's these people, man. Because now you got the NBA, man, they're saying, look, we're going to have to expect to play without fans, right? Because of the scare of the coronavirus. So this thing's it's just going to be a multi-layered thing. These people are already bugging out and they're trying to get stocks and victuals in their house, food and all that shit, right? The brothers are showing pictures of people in Costco.
I was there today.
Yep. So people are, whose phone is that? Oh, okay. Right? I thought it was the phone. Yeah, man, people are already bugging out, and the lack of bread is going to bring in the invading of one another, man. Pursuant to Second Ezra's, 15? Right? If someone can hold that after on deck. Right? Because that's the time we're heading into, man. You're going to have people not have food, right? So they're going to know certain people here and there that have food. Those people are not going to share the food with their families. So that guy's just going to come over and blow his head off, man. Take his children, do whatever, man. And we're going to come into the time where you're going to see these people, how they keep claiming they're savages and they're beasts and all that shit. You're going to see that, man. It's going to be like the purge, basically. Go ahead, Al.
So I'm going to go on Numbers 14 and 12, and it says, "I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them." And it's speaking of the nations, man, mostly Esau. All right. So Most High is doing all this, right, to what? Bring us up, man. And who's that? Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay.
Hey,
That's
quick thing, right? So when you look up pestilence, it goes back to pest. It says see pest, right? Like you have a pest in the house. It's a noun, going back to plague, pestilence from French or Latin, deadly contagious disease, a curse, bane, meaning noxious or troublesome person or thing, right? And that's really Esau. He's the pest of the earth. And he creates these little sub-pests, so to speak.
And that's also the curse. Then the Most High curse Cain, man. The curse he shall be, right? I think I'm his melanin. Okay. And so back in Numbers 14 to 12, I will smite them with the pestilence. And again, them is the other nation, and some of our people is going to get doubts with this coronavirus, man. Because what? They're calling on this Jesus Christ and worshiping other gods. All right, and that's one of the things most of them are jealous power. Okay, so whether you know you're doing wrong or you're doing folly, that's on you. All right, because you have no reason to be doing folly right now, because what? The men and lords are in the highways and byways, on YouTube, right? Everywhere. You know, there's no reason for you not to know right now. Okay? You're saying waking up. You're saying something that like I told you so.
Yeah, I told you so.
Well, we told you so.
Told you
man.
so. Oh, yeah. I was saying this is gonna be the biggest I told you so in history, man. You know? Because we've been prophesying, you know, started from the apostles and elders, teaching this truth, man. You know, we're on the highways and byways consistently, week in, week out, telling the same thing over and over again. These people don't want to listen, man. You know, so that's gonna be your own downfall, to your own destruction.
We're gonna be the true starting from the bottom. Now we're here. All right? Because we're gonna be on that. That's gonna be beamed up in those chariots, man. And the apostles have been saying that from day one, that speaking of the chariots, speaking of times like now, okay? So this is what we're bringing forth. We're telling you about the pestilence. Okay?
Second Ezra's 15. We'll start at 19. Actually, I'll start at 18. It says, for because
You
of
should
your
go up
pride.
to verse 11, start there. And then if you want to jump on, read that, because that's going to tell us. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna start at
11.
11. All right.
Yeah.
It's second Ezra's 15:11. It says, but I will bring with them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it.
Yeah, so this is modern day Egypt, man. Right? Because the word Egypt is a Greek word Egyptos, meaning bondage. So if you look on the back of the American bill, we have Egyptian monuments and symbols, right? And,
Yes.
and one of the reasons why America is called Egypt today is because spiritually it has adopted those customs. Just like spiritual America is also Babylon the Great, Assyria, you know, and they go Sodom and Gomorrah, Rome, right? Greece, right? Because it's a collection, amalgamation, if you will, of all these different kingdoms, man. Right? And that's why it's the worst kingdom, because it's a mixture of all the previous wicked kingdoms. Each kingdom that came, right? You had the Assyrians, right? And then you had the Babylonians, I believe, right? Or the Babylonians, which took on the customs of the Assyrians, but they put a own mixture on it. Or that was at that time that was known as the Neo-Babylonian Empire, because the old Babylonian Empire started with who? With Nimrod, right? So you have this term called the Neo-Babylonian Empire, which was during the time of right after the Assyrians. The Babylonians took over. Then you had the Persians. The Persians took on the customs of the Babylonians, but they added their twist on it. After the Persians, you had, or the Medo-Persian Empire, then you had the Greeks, and then the Romans. That's why the god of war in Greece is Ares, but then the god of war in Rome is Mars, and so on and so forth, man. Right? Go ahead.
It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail and with fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Yeah, the modern day sword is the gun, man. Because nobody's walking around with a shield and a buckler, man. Right? That's the modern day sword is the gun. But it's gonna get to a certain level because you're not gonna have ammunition companies anymore after a while, right? So you're gonna have all kinds of different devices, man. People using fucking archery, javelins, spears, machetes. You know, it's gonna get medieval, but right now, people are armed, man, to the teeth.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead.
What you call Civil War.
Come. That's right.
Civil unrest.
16.
Yeah.
Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men.
Yeah, someone look up sedition.
Look at it.
Just to, get a full
Yeah.
breakdown. Just 1 second. Alright? So basically, you're gonna have civil disorder. You're gonna have your powers saying, okay, people, you're gonna have to be rounded up, at your nearest FEMA camp. You gotta obey, cease and desist, right? Cease and disperse because you're gonna have curfew. You're gonna have a thing called martial law. And these plans are already set in place, man, through things like Rex 84 or King Alfred's plan. If you look those things up, the word, brother?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so the word sedition here says conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch.
You had the etymology?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, definition is good, but
Yeah, it's not as descriptive.
sometimes the etymology is better.
So sedition here. Sedition, it says rebellion, uprising, revolt, consecrated attempt to overthrow civil authority, violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riots,
Yeah,
rebellion.
in America right now you have different factions. You have people that are pro keeping your firearms, and you have people that are with the government coming in and taking them.
Militias.
And in the South, the Edomites, you can't fuck with those guys, man, because they're talking about I got my Constitution, my AR-15, I have my open carry, right? And they'll fight tooth and nail for that shit. And right now you have a lot of Edomites, like the brother said, militias and vigilantes, right? Different kind of paramilitary.
Bikers, if you want
Yeah.
to, all that,
Private
the groups
military
and so on.
Yep. Private security, all that shit.
Okay.
But you got people out there that are ex-military, man, that are training, young guys, and informing them about their so-called American rights, man. Which, at the end of the day, you have no rights because this place was founded as a corporation. And even I was driving over here and I was on 89.5, I think. And I just so happened when I turned on the car, it was on. And the guy, all I hear is, Canada's still owned by the crown and we're paying, the queen is a corrupt entity and she's been, she can't leave England, that's why she stays there because she's a convicted empire basically, and we have no freedom. And I recorded it too, it was like 8 minutes. And so this guy's saying some shit, and that's on the radio, But people are slowly waking up, but again, it's gonna be too late, man.
I got more here real quick. It says civil disorder, distension, strife, rebellion, unity, literally a going apart, separation. See, from apart, a going from past into going. So basically separation.
That's right. Yeah, separation from your civic duties, man. You don't give a shit about, your
What
neighbor.
the
Yeah, whatever. The rule of law. You have a disregard for the rule of law.
Anarchy.
Anarchy,
Yeah.
right? And anarchy is actually a form of government because it's a transitional form. Just like you have democracy, you have communism, you have fascism. Anarchy is the transition between the civil government, chaos, and then the new power coming in. But the thing about it is, it's just going to keep going until really the World War III happens, the final battle, and then Yahushua coming, man, and that's gonna be the new power. That's gonna be the new superpower in us, man.
Right.
The Lord coming and taking the crowns off all these other kings, man.
Grip.
Yep. And then we'll get back to it.
Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So I brought that up because if anybody's tuning in that's not used to what we're talking about, right? It says right here the prophets are before us, man. Where the prophets coming back? So Jeremiah and Isaiah, Ezekiel, they spoke of this is how they spoke, man, right? So they weren't talking about love this and love that. They're telling you what's going to happen and what's to happen, right? And right now we're talking about pestilence, man.
Yeah. Did it say prosperity?
No, it didn't say that.
Happiness.
Pestilence.
You know, hey, when you read Ezekiel 3, it said eat the whole world, man. They're in this full of what? Lamentation, woe. It didn't say prosperity, man. You know, comfort, happiness. That's you can't get in this place. If you're comfortable and happy in this place, that means you're a wicked ass person, man. You're either heavily asleep or you know what's going on and you choose to turn a blind eye and you become comfortable in your shit. Right? You become comfortable with really at the end of the day pedophilia, Satanism, right? Wickedness against the Lord, man. That's all this place upholds, right?
Yeah, we thank him for the coronavirus because the Lord is using to, as the brother mentioned, to speed up this thing, right? It's prophecy. And what we're going to do, there's nobody that can stop us.
But brother, the corona means king, right? So it's in the spirit, it's a king's virus, man. Most of it's lickings and diseases, man.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And you're going to go to the next precept? Because
Yes.
oh, he's reading it? Let's start here. Continue.
Yeah, 2 Ezra 15:16 says,
Here you go.
says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Yeah, because you're gonna have blockades, man. And right now, the only thing that is really keeping you people docile and asleep is your entertainment, you know, bread and circus, man. And once you get to a little point of, even if you get there, because a lot of you people are already medicated, you got your drugs, you have your alcohol, you have your gaming, you have your whores, you got all that shit, right? All that shit to distract you, but the people that slip through the cracks, they might find out what's really going on, and then they bug out. And then they bug out, the officers come and clean their ass, man. They go in the mental institution, or those few people that really understand what the hell's going on. They might kill a few people and kill themselves, man.
Yeah.
But they find out how wicked this place is and how there's no future in this place. But we gotta maintain here, through the Spirit of the Lord, we're seeing all this shit and we're still among you people, man. As regulars, but, you know, as regular folks. But you know there's something about us, because there's a hot fire inside us, man.
Yeah.
Every time we're around you people, it's like the demons are burning up, man, because they can feel that energy, right? They can feel that energy, man, that intense heat. And you gotta, you know, some of us are permanently shut-faced, man, like just completely got that cold stare, man, because people, and then people wonder why don't you smile more? Why are you so serious?
Ice, man.
Why are you know?
Yeah.
Well, why you mad every day?
And then you, let's say you show somebody something, you know, and then you might show them again, and then maybe a third time, and they say, you keep showing me this crazy shit, like, you know, like they'll start bugging out.
Yeah. Don't send it to my phone.
I don't care about that. You see the game last night? I'm gonna go to the concert in 2 months. Janet Jackson's coming, you know.
They want to be.
The baby's coming, you know. So again, man, you people are you're sedated for now, man. But if you really, you know, once this shit, you know, the skirt gets lifted, man, you're gonna see a lot of the wickedness come out. Because we have to live with the fact that, you know, all the shit we've seen in our childhood, all the cartoons, all the media, all the school system you've been through, it's all wickedness, it's all Satanism,
Yes.
man. all those happy, good moments you had, right? It's all wickedness. You gotta look back, and it's like Neo, man. He was hurting. He said, no, this can't be real. And then the guy said, he's gonna pop. And then he threw up. Because there was a lot. Going back to Proverbs, what is that, 26 or 28, about honey?
Honey makes you throw up?
Yeah. He said, no, this can't be real. And then he was there by himself, and Morpheus had to visit him and said, he said, I took a risk on you because you were a little aged for me to pull you out of the matrix, but I believed in you, and you had to tell him about all that shit. But that's a lot of people, man. They find out what's really going on, and it's really too much. Either they see it, they get really scared, and they just go back to sleep. They say, you know what, I'd rather turn a blind eye.
Yes.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
And I thought, growing up, going into Mobile, Alabama, full of crackers was bad, right? No, that was in the past. I'm just saying 2-3 years ago, if I would go there, I would get a lot of dirty looks. But even more so with the prophecy fulfilling with this filthy virus, which is a beautiful thing, if I wouldn't be able to get in there now. They would kill me on sight. That's the point I just wanted to make.
Just quick precept. This is Mark chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 23, and it says, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? This is Yahushua speaking. And it says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. And that's what we're going into about this edition. Because Esau's divided, like we spoke about a bit earlier. You have armed militias. Even recently, a couple months ago, I believe it was in late fall, you had an armed militia rise up in the state of Virginia. Now, the thing is, it was a very unique militia because they're saying how it was composed of ordinary citizens, civil servants, like doctors, lawyers, and it just showed you, the power is in the people's hand because they're uniting, right? And then you also had paramilitary, ex-military, a lot of people, and they were very afraid. But you notice how it kind of swept under the rug. You don't hear about that anymore, right? And that's really because of the bread and circus, keeping you people entertained. But that stuff is still going on. People are losing their rights. People are very angry right now.
Yeah. And this place is all divided, man. That's why it's all a game, man. That's all it is. The elites are just playing Monopoly. Because you got, just like in the ancient world, you had the plebeians and the
Patricians?
it was basically Democrats and Republicans. And in Canada, it's just a little fancier. Liberals and conservatives.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit, man. It all goes back to it all goes back to Rome,
Satan and Satan, man.
right? And that goes back to Second Ezra's 11, man, with the eagle, and it had
The 12 arrows.
no, it had two. I don't know if the explanation was feathers, but it
Feathers.
basically mentioned two sides, which is Democrat and Republican, and that's all run as a big Hegelian dialect, man. Which, when you look that up, it's two opposing forces, your thesis and your antithesis, and then you have your synthesis, which is just coming together, so to speak. So that's what all we're living under, because you got every 4 years, right? You have your elections, and let's say they say, okay, every 8 years the conservatives win, because right now the liberals, Trudeau's in the second term. But now, this time around, they can get tired of the liberals and they say, you know what the fuck, let's go back to the conservatives. It's all a game, it's all a teeter-totter. But it's the same people, it's all, okay, look, to give you the illusion, you have a choice. You can choose liberal or conservative. Here are your candidates, here are their points. Oh, we're gonna do this for the people, right? We're gonna do that. Here, okay, this is what the people say, we're gonna carry out those promises. And then 4 years in the office, they don't do shit.
That's like you can jump the script, the precept on Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
Yes.
Right. So there's a wicked. Doesn't matter which way you go.
That's right.
We can reach it.
Yeah. So and then at the end of the day, the synthesis to bring it all together is the plan of the elites still coming to pass.
Yeah.
Because whoever's in there, they have to take the orders, man. They're not just on their own free will. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I have it. You want it?
Yeah.
In Ezra, real
Yeah.
quick, verse
Yeah,
7.
yeah.
Second Ezra, this is Second Ezra 11, verse 7. Actually, I'll start verse 6 real quick. It says, "And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her. No, not one creature upon earth." Verse 7 is supposed to be the point. "And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose up her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course.
Mhm.
But let the heads be preserved for the last."
Those were the different Caesars, right?
Mhm.
They all had
Okay.
their course. Right?
Okay. You want me to continue? Or just
Yep.
Okay, continue. Real quick. So it says, and verse 10. Sorry, I'll go back to verse 9. "But let the heads be preserved for the last, and I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body." Verse 11. "And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them." Verse 12. "And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one feather, and reigned over all the earth."
No, that's not the one.
That's not the one?
Someone typed in,
Okay, that was.
it goes into horns, and I think it's in the book of Daniel. It's not really pertinent. Yeah, you can keep reading.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
It's Revelation, sorry. Revelation 13:11. Someone can get that. We keep reading.
So verse 18, like I said, verse 15. "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread."
Yeah, man. Go 2-3 days without food, you're gonna start thinking thoughts, man. And then you know somebody up the street that has it. You're gonna run in their house, man.
Yeah.
You know, "Oh, Tom, you play golf. Boom. I thought we're friends, man. You know?
I'm hungry.
I see some people on Facebook talking about, "Yo, man, I went to Costco, there's Costco running, man," da, 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 like telling people what they have in their house. And man is like, "All right, I know who's else I'm going to," and shake the fence.
I went into Costco today and these people are bugging the fuck out,
Me
man.
too. They were on a toilet paper. And
I was over by St. Catharines and they were bugging the fuck out.
See, I was in Brampton there, and they found my toilet paper, man. But there's none left.
One per family.
There's none left. They're finding water and hunger, man. Arguing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There's left, man.
Wow, they can't control the diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah.
No, it's
I got Revelation
Wow,
13
that's
and
true.
11.
That's true.
Yes. Maybe start at 10?
10?
13? No. 11's right. Because 9 and 10 is...
Yeah, it's different, yeah. Revelation chapter 13 and 11. "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns, like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon."
Yes, so there you go, man. So a lamb is timid, man. Right? It's very meek and humble, and and is perceived to be as non-threatening. That's the point. It's just, a lamb is meant for the slaughter. You feed it, you make it fat, and then you slaughter it. So this beast, ask a Christian, what is this beast? What is the seed? You know, go on Google and you type in Revelation 13 or certain chapter 17 and the beast, and you'll actually see water, and you'll have a beast coming up out of the water. It's not talking about that. It's talking about peoples, man, the seed. It tells you in the book of Revelation, what is that, 17 and 15? The waters which thou sawest are peoples and nations and tongues,
Yeah.
right? So that seed is the peoples, basically. It's talking about a kingdom, man, a civilization.
And to break down to about the waters of people, you
Tells
can
you-
get that in Jeremiah, I believe.
If you read it down, it tells you. People
Yeah.
want people to see those people. It tells you. Verse 12.
Well, we came out of the waters. Go to
Yeah.
Genesis 1.
Yeah.
The creature came out from the water, right? Hence our bodies are over 70-80% water.
Come on.
You know, semen.
Come on.
Yeah.
The most I sick with it, man. The most I sick with it.
But it's a very simple secret.
The most I sick with it, man. You gotta see it.
Nonetheless, it's a secret, man.
Yeah, kind of.
Right? It's a parable, but that beast is basically the system we're living in.
Come on.
that fourth beast, which was the Roman Empire, but is back here today. 2 horns, which are what does a horn represent? Power. 2 powers. Again,
Democrats
Democrats, Republicans. Back then it was plebeians. Someone look it up. Someone,
Petitions.
yeah, it was like one of those words,
Yeah.
right? But it's the same thing back then. That goes into Ecclesiastes 1. That which has been is that which shall be, and there's no new thing under the sun. So read that lamp part again.
Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns, like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Right, being cool, man.
Draconian.
Right, very clean laws, man.
Plebeians and partitions.
And petitions, yeah.
Plebeians partition for water. That's right, man.
I'll just read a brief.
Yeah, yeah.
It says here, Roman citizens were divided. This is Google. Roman citizens were divided up into 2 distinct classes: the plebeians and the partitions. The partitions were the wealthy upper class people. Everyone else was considered a plebeian. The partitions were ruling class of the early Roman Empire.
Con.
That's that.
Go on.
Con.
Verse 12. And he exercises all power of the first beast before him, and causes
Which was the Roman Empire. Right?
and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Yeah, because this system, all your taxonomy, your botanicals, your law, it all goes back to Latin. Your architecture goes back to Roman Greece, Greco-Roman Empire. All your custom gym, man, look how big the gym is, man. Nothing but a bunch of naked sluts. Right, doing the same shit. And these men, they wear the same tight shit.
And fags.
man.
You know?
Notice this guy was like
Hofters.
Exercise in general is so tight.
one sexy.
Gym wear, like you were saying, gym wear is a lot more tight now and everything. Is
It's basically like back then, Jim knows he's naked.
Naked.
People were fucking, man. They're working out naked. A man was looking at the next man doing some exercise. A woman was looking whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and that's the same shit that goes on here. You have gym rats, man.
Some big orgy there.
Right? The girl that gets passed around in the gym, man.
And them, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
When you look up wonders in the blue letter, I believe it goes into miracles. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it goes into technological miracles. So that's what we're living in, man. Right? So you got the RFID chip. That's going to bring about a lot of miracles because they're going to embed it with the AI and his different abilities, basically. This man, he was blind from birth. Now he can see. This person is deaf. Now they can hear. And it's all through this chip. That's what they're going to do.
But when he dropped the bomb in Nagasaki, that's a miracle right there, man. And he made the earth to speak.
Fire from heaven.
We did that guy, that's man right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because back in them days, like that's power. That's a power.
Well, that's a
man.
wonder,
Kind.
right? Because you look at something, you wonder, like,
Yeah,
what
man.
is, you know, like, it's a wonder, man. How do you look at it?
I mean,
How
the
do
earth
you do
trembled.
that?
Yeah,
I can't do that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's power. Wow.
But this man is saying he's God. Yeah. And Thessalonians is saying he acts like God and makes us
Yeah,
like
sit in
that.
the seat of the Most High.
Yeah, man. So there's a wonder right there. That's a huge wonder.
Yeah.
You know, God can tell you.
I got the word wonder, just look it up, right? And in the Hebrew, or sorry, Greek, samaon, right, which means a sign, a mark, a token. Well, mark is a beast. That's a wonder right there, a miracle. I'm gonna go to the point. A sign, a prodigy, example, an unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature. Right? So when they dropped that atom bomb, that was the uncommon course of nature. Because that, you know, you have guns, or what they call them, the firearms, right? Because that's fire, man. You're shooting, that's you know, Dad called them fire sticks. And back then they had the long barrel, the Winchesters and the Henrys. Now we call them the same thing, firearms. Sidearms, right? Firearms, same shit. But that shit that they dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that was fire from heaven, man. And now what they have, and now that was only that was a hydrogen bomb. Now it's nuclear weapons. It's a step above, man. It's a thermal bomb. It's a thermonuclear bomb.
100 million kelvins.
And we looked it up years ago. Remember, it's two differences. I forget those: fusion and fission. Fusion was the one that they dropped on Hiroshima. Fission is when they can mix different particles and make it even stronger.
Yeah.
So fusion, they split the atom. That was the bomb, atom bomb. But fission, they already split it, but then they started adding different things, molecules, atoms, and they just fucked it up, man.
Yeah, because now they have the
So the guy that made it, the German guy, forget his name, the German name, but he said, "I'm become the destroyer of worlds." Henry,
I'll check it.
No.
If you check up on quote the destroyer of worlds,
I'm destroyer of worlds. Heinrich or some German name. Yeah, but you can go ahead.
Verse 14.
Yep.
And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do.
Because when you do that, right, that means, look, no, who's fucking with you, right? You're the superpower. You know, you got the Taliban, or the ISIL, or Mujahideen, whichever U.S.-backed faction you want to talk about, that you're so-called fighting, right? You got the name?
yeah, it's J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, that's the name. Yeah, Oppenheimer. So, right, when they finally completed it, he said, "I'm becoming the destroyer of worlds." And that goes into what? Cosmos, not the whole world. He's going to destroy different worlds. China's a world, that's a superpower. America's a world within itself. Right? Right?
He had power to do this in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the
Yeah, that was
beast.
the point, because it goes into the chip. Right? But, you got something?
Yeah, this is Isaiah 54:16. He said, "Behold, I've created the smith that blow the coals in the fire."
That's the Oppenheimer guy there. Because he's a smith. He made it. Right?
Yeah, back then you had the actual smith, the blacksmith, he was there beating, day and night, man. Right? And now these guys, same shit, day and night. They gotta study, be wary, sleep, not even sleep, man. You know, get 2 hours, 3 hours to get back on it. Working tirelessly, man. These scientists are modern day smiths, man.
Yeah.
Right?
"Behold, I've created the smith that blow the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. That I've created the waster to destroy it."
That's right.
Where's he? Like shot to him, man. Right? That's the
His
base.
nature. He did his nature, man.
I got a quick precept. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. It's just a precept backing up. That's Esau. And it says horse for a reason because that's power. So he has that red power from the left.
Well, either one, red.
Red.
Edom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Esau's Edom. Genesis 36.
This
was given the sword.
This Isaiah 9 verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this
So in the ancient world, you watch a movie on Netflix, Henry. Watch Gladiator.
Kingdom, what's it called?
You know, Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah.
Right? You're on the battlefield, man. It's crazy, man. You hear some man getting his throat slashed, some man getting an arrow through his eye, some man trying to chop a man's neck down. You know, you hear a man war cry, you're like, what the fuck? You just gotta keep going. So it's explained in an ancient battle, but this war, right?
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Fuel of fire, man. That's modern day nuclear ICD, man.
Well, that's what we call the day of the Lord, right? Because we all gotta say this, man. Like the people on this world, the trick back in the day of the Lord is gonna be like all hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
But it ain't so according to the Bible, right? It says, "Blessed is he that readeth." If you ain't reading the Bible, you listen to a dumbass pastor talking about, "Oh, praise the Lord." This ain't what the prophet is saying, man. Right?
Hey, the brother Slucky on the chat, GMS Rexdale Flame, he put up the quote, Oppenheimer, I become death. the destroyer of worlds, man. So he's death, man. And isn't it? I don't know if you read that scripture. That was the scripture. Death followeth.
Yeah.
Right. So
Oh,
that's Esau, man.
Revelation, death.
Death, man. You just bring disbalance to the earth, man. Right?
Like the opposite of the word.
You bring negativity. You bring the anti. You are the anti of the earth, man. Right? Just like Herod's father, Antipater, anti-father. You are the anti of the earth, man. And you gotta go, and you will go, man. Right?
Revelation 6 and 8, death.
So you just
And I looked, and behold, a pale horse is named that.
that's the missile.
Huh?
That's the missile. But who brings about? We just read it.
Yeah,
You can read it.
Okay, same thing. And Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death.
And they made a book like that, the Edomite, Behold a Pale Horse. The elders always bring it up, man. Go ahead.
And hell followed with him.
Yeah, Hades. Right? I'm pretty sure if you look it up in the blue letter, it says Hades, which is death. It just means death. It's not a place that you go under the earth, man. And
I was telling them to fall somebody. We're bringing hell with him.
Yep.
Yes, it's it.
Yeah, this is for the Christian who believe the day of the Lord is going to come in your heart. It's Isaiah 13:9, and it reads, "Behold, the day of the Lord has come cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, right? To lay the land desolate, and to destroy the sinners thereof out." Right? In that day, the Lord's going to kill a lot of people, you know?
So let's jump off the brothers. Let's read and go to Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
That's right.
To what end is it for you?
Like you were saying about the churches, right? These people in the churches, they preach about, Son of the Most High coming back and saving everybody and being a part of the rapture and all this type of stuff. But woe unto them, for what is the day of the Lord unto you? You're not in the truth. You're not breaking down the scriptures correctly, or you're not out there doing the work. You're completely doing everything backwards. So to you, it's death and destruction.
And the word woe means destruction.
Yeah.
All right, so the pastors don't, you see, we're commissioned to look where it's up and to find the meaning of it. Say you read woe and keep reading, that means like, you say woman and the horse stops. Right? Woe means destruction, man. So the Lord's saying destruction to you, man. Right? For what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, man. So it's not like happy time, no happy day. You'll be saying that stuff, man. Right? You run for cover, but the cover is run from you. Because it said the element shall melt. Right? Fervent heat. Right?
That's long lasting, man. Everlasting.
That's that.
So, okay, Khan, this is second Ezra. Let's start I'll start at 31. So second Ezra 16 and 31. It says, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them. Let me go down to, okay, fine. Verse 39 says, even so shall not the plague be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Because you have some people who say, they'll say, oh, you see what's happening over there in this so place. You see what's happening over here and over there, like they're protected because it's happening over there. Sorrows and destruction, like this plague that we're right now, the coronavirus, that's happening, like they even say it's reaching down in Africa. You know what I mean? So people down in Africa are not even safe from it. So it doesn't matter where you are across the world, the Most High's judgment is still going to reach upon you. Every corner, no matter where you are, right? Because a lot of these, I guess you call us first world countries, we kind of keep our nose in the air because these third world countries are getting all the brunt of the judgment. But we're going to get it too. you know.
But they're saying even places that's not exposed to travel or China or whatever, because it's safe somewhere where like in a small town, someone died from it.
Yeah.
It's airborne, so there's nothing to do with like,
Airborne, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So they say, but like you gotta look at plagues that came before. AIDS is all over the place. Ebola is gone. It's the most high.
SARS,
Yeah,
SARS,
that's
you
true,
know,
avian flu.
that's right.
Memes of
The Most High uses one person to use as a bioweapon to spread his work, man.
H1N1.
Because when you go in Deuteronomy, there's a script and it says about how the wondrous plagues, and it's the Most High, because we disobeyed him. So the Most High, you know, he don't play around. It's, you know.
Well, it says in Isaiah 45:7 that the evil, which means bad time, and good, like he's the one that do all these things.
That's right. The belongeth to him the issues of death,
Gone.
right?
Zika, remember Zika virus?
Yeah,
Because he, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
This is the Most High's wondrous works, man.
Yeah.
And he's using yeah, that's right.
Swords, man. Right?
Yeah, continue.
Son, yeah, so this is verse 39, 2 Ezra 16:39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So Moses is saying his people. So he's not talking to everybody, man. All the men are going to get this, man. Right? Because you need they're hoarding stuff and stocking Costco and all this stuff. Yo, man, that's decide what you pick up. Like, don't put your trust in these collectible. Yeah, they're good. You know what I mean? The most of them be die right in front of it, man. The drop is dead. You know?
Yeah.
But it said evil days, man.
God.
It's said to be as pilgrims.
God.
Look at pilgrim, it means a person that moves from place to place. So now you're not gonna just stay in one place, I'm good.
God.
You know, this shit's gonna come your way. Military might come, people, militia, there's a plague
Yeah,
that's
virus,
coming, you gotta leave.
Too many dead bodies.
Yeah.
You know, the angels slaughtering people in one area. You see it, you'd be like, oh.
Get out of there. Get out of there, yeah.
And we try to lie too. You know anything anymore? Bring the case of that. Bring it. And say, oh, put this in. If you're gonna move, you're gonna move. You know what I mean? So all this piling of the stuff, forget it, man.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing wrong. I'm saying it's wrong to like, you know, be able to frugal and put stuff away, but don't make it your thing. Like,
Can't
I
be
got,
focused.
you know, basement stock. I'm good.
100%.
Yeah, and that's that. When you go and read about the prophets, they moved from different city to city. The Lord, he moved from different city to city, even when these plagues and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's just how our people move. So
Yeah.
you got to be in that mindset. Oh, I'm gonna stay here. I don't want to go.
You gotta move like the truth, because it says the spirit goeth as the wind, right? And that's how the prophets were set up to move, because they moved to different spots.
Nomadic.
Yeah.
Gotta
Sojourner.
move, nomadic.
That's how Abraham was. When you go and read back and look at the map where he traveled among the plateau or the land around Israel, right? But he wasn't allowed
Traveled
to.
on the Fertile Crescent.
Yeah,
From Babylon, it's like an arch, right?
Yeah.
Crescent.
yeah. Same thing with Jacob, Isaac.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
they traveled, man.
Yeah, learn a lot.
Until we had the land of Israel,
Yeah,
you know, a lot of prophets they had to travel. Because they went from captivity to captivity. You had Ezra, he went from Babylonian to Persian,
yeah.
you know?
A lot of
So,
trouble.
like Gabar,
And Paul.
Gabar said,
Yeah.
he said about the river, you have a flow, a current going, and then there's certain rocks and shit. It hits the rock, but it just goes over, you know, through and just out. It doesn't just stay stagnant. It's okay. What do you call it? The obstructions here, the objects here, just go.
Yeah, you gotta go around it. If there's a mountain in your way, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go around it.
Over.
Or do it.
Whatever with the water, man, and the object of the water. It's words of the water. Go with it, man. You know, it's currents. Keep moving.
Which ends up being faith in this day, right? So it says, verse 41, Said, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait.
so you're in this kingdom. That's one of my favorite scriptures, man. Because this is going to outline what kind of mental state you're supposed to be in, man. Because if you're selling, if you're a businessman, there's brothers that are merchants, right? You're apothecaries, man, which is when you look that up, it's like a storehouse, right? So you might be a person that supplies certain things in this kingdom, on the righteous side, not on the left hand side, right? But read that again.
Yeah, I'll read that again. It says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away.
Yeah, so meaning like, yeah, you're doing your business, but when that shit happens, don't think, oh man, I need to save my business, or I need to, keep this. When that shit happens, just fuck it, just leave it, man. I need to pack up, man. This is valuable merchandise, because that shit is just fuel for the fire. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever you're selling, man.
I got
Hold on,
something.
this one's gonna go. Is it quick?
Yeah.
It's a brief page. I want to for you.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So, this is Psalm 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger.
Is that in the Bible?
He spared not their soul
The Most High said evil angels?
from death, but gave their life over to pestilence,
Wow.
and smote all their firstborn in Egypt, chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham. That was just,
Yeah, that was Egypt.
Well, no, I want to read from the but made his own people to go forth like sheep and guide them in the wilderness like a flock.
Oh, fine. That's right. It says, yeah.
No, because it was talking about the treasures and don't latch on to it. I'm a business, I can't leave, man.
But this thing goes into it. Like how you're supposed to live.
Quick. Yeah, this is on Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up yourselves treasure upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break in through and steal. But lay up yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor thieves. Thieves. Thieves do break through nor steal.
Yeah, this is so this is that second verse 16 and 42. I'll read 41 again real quick. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that
Yeah, so you make an investment, don't wholeheartedly believe in it, man. Like
Bitcoin.
There's a brother in Dallas. He was talking about how you balance living in this kingdom, and he said he's in the process of buying a house, but if shit hits the fan, he's not like wholeheartedly into it. But that's a big investment, you know. He's in a house, but does that mean he's laid back and he's comfortable? You know, that's not the case, man. So even if you're selling things or you're making investments, don't fully commit to it. In your mind, just say, the Lord's blessing me, but at any moment, I gotta be willing to just say fuck it.
Yeah.
Because then they say, sir, you need to take this chip and to continue business, and you're gonna take it. Well, fuck, or you're gonna lose everything. Well, fuck it. Go ahead.
Whatever belongs to Caesar, let it return unto Caesar, as the Lord said, man. Repeat prayers for these scriptures.
It says, verse 42, he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein.
They brought up with the house thing. You know what I mean? They don't only tied to nothing. Basically, it says like pilgrim in those days.
Because back in the ancient world, you would actually build a house with your two fucking hands. You have men or family around you. Now, technically, you build by getting a mortgage. The bank finances the builder. He builds a house. You gotta give the bank a cut. The rest of your life, maybe 40 years. Right, your fit life, so to speak. Right. So by the time you so-called own your house, which you still don't own your house, because you don't have a loyal title to water. In Canada, you don't own your house, but in today's time, that's the equivalent of building your house. So in ancient world, you build your house, man, but then, oh shit, we're under the Babylonian captivity. They just siege your house. Or you're under the Greeks, or you're under the Romans, right? How many captivities were we in the book of Judges, man? Guys are building their house, and oh shit, here comes Moab. We're gonna be under a group for the next 18 or 20 years or some shit, or here comes the Cushites. You know, because we're doing wickedness, and guys are living good for a little bit, right? Because that life brings some good shit sometimes, but for a little bit, man. Because the fruit of it is death, right? Go ahead.
And it says, okay. And it says, he that soweth, I'll finish that. So he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children.
Yeah, so that's a different care, man. So people like you still have a care because you have to focus and do real things in this world. But at the same time, it's like uncaringness, so to speak, to a certain level, because these people put their whole heart, man, and then they lose it, they bug out, man. They say, fuck, I put all my energy into this.
Yeah.
I gotta start over, you know? But, hey, man, things come and go in this kingdom,
That's
man.
right.
This is all corruptible shit anyway.
That's right.
It says, so they that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore...
Yeah, so you don't have a woman, you act like the woman who died, man. You know, meet a woman here and there. Go ahead.
Says, and therefore is they that labor in vain.
Yeah, so all these people, man, they're grinding, man. I'm on my grind, you know, dedication, right? So they're laboring in vain, man. Because they actually still think that their credit score will matter in the future, and that, you know, they get their credit upped, and, you know, all this shit. They get their mortgage, and I'm buying land up north, and, you know, going up there, man.
Yeah, don't profit enough.
5 years, I got a 5-year plan.
Because remember, what did they say about a tradesman? That saying, something about a trade of none. I can
Oh, Jack of all,
trades.
master of none.
Yeah.
Yeah, jack of all trades,
Yeah,
master of none.
Yeah, master of none, exactly.
Yeah, like it don't matter to nothing, man.
Yeah.
Like your skills is all there, that's good. But like, fuck, they want you to have these credentials, or this certificate, that certificate. Oh, you could have the best of the best, be better than everybody, but you know, they
Well,
want
I
you
know a
to.
guy like that. He grew up and he was a millwright guy, and he basically said back then it was just one trade, and after that they made his trade into like 9 different trades. And you need a bunch of, you need to go 4 years here, 6 years here.
It's madness.
Pipe fitter, this, that, and the third one.
More confusion.
But he knows how to do it, but he can't legally do it, right? So,
Yeah, because they want your stamp approval when
Liberals
you
do.
finish the work. They want to know, oh, is this guy, he did it, he had to sign off or whatever. It's like, fuck that. It was done properly. Once it's done properly, you know. But they have their code of conduct, because that's
That's the
ESOP,
licensing,
right?
man.
The license.
The license.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get this.
You need your permission signed slip. You need your permission slip signed.
This is the book of Zephaniah 1 and 18, and it reads, neither their silver nor their gold should be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land should be devoured by the fire and his jealousy, for he should make even a speedy vengeance of all of them that dwell in the land.
Hey, those are high precious. Those are precious metals that the Most High requires you to be purchasing things and stuff like that. But the Most High's not going to hear it. Someone's going to be able to buy their way out of it with those godly precious metals.
We gotta think about it, really. Water will be more precious than gold or silver.
Oh yeah, because they say water is blue gold in that day.
You know what I mean? There you go. And remember Book of Eli. In the Book of Eli, he
You had to trade for that.
he went to the guy, And he's like, he started putting the stuff on the table, the bartender, right?
He put the scarf.
He put the scarf, he put this, that, glasses.
I think he put the napkins too. I don't remember what else he
He got
put.
his gloves
The
on.
service, yeah.
He got his gloves on, and nice gloves. He's like, here. And he's like, what do you want? He gave him his canteen. He's like, water. He's like, that's the good stuff. You can have the alcohol, and all that alcohol, but after you drink alcohol, you get what? Dehydrated.
That's right. It dries up your liver.
You're in the desert, man. You're all bugged out. That's the good stuff. It's gonna cost you. And then he took out something else and he put it on the table and he goes, okay. He's like, I'll get you halfway, and he had to take something else. So
Yeah.
put it there. And then they had a well. That's why.
Yeah.
That's like a gold mine in that.
Yeah.
You might as well like a gold mine.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah,
You
'cause
you're
there's-
better off with a bottle of water. If someone's coming to take your life, you're giving them gold, they're not gonna take that. You'd rather give them a bottle of water. If you're trading somebody, you have the leverage, man, because again, it's gonna be tight, man. You get, these rivers and these currents are gonna be full of blood and toxicity, and what was gonna be able to
Yeah.
do, man. Right?
Yeah, because the Most High said, well, because remember what he did in Egypt? He turned the water to blood, man.
That's Satan.
Fan?
What do you call it? Shit. Yeah, open the window. Yeah, the water.
Someone get a towel and start fanning.
You know?
Just.
Alright.
Precept? Just go back to the brother here. This is Matthew 24 and 16. It says, that let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Oh, that's the point. You mentioned Egypt, and the Lord said He's going to smite Egypt again as before, basically.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then really, there's going to be even new plagues, man. Because this Egypt, do you think it compares with the wickedness of the old Egypt? Not even a quarter, man.
Nah.
Because that's just one kingdom that this place is known as. So if this place is Sodom and Gomorrah, Syria, fucking Greece, Babylon,
Everything,
all this, man.
everything, man.
That's crazy.
Because a lot of other nations bring their ideology all here. It's called the melting pot, man. It's called wickedness.
Well, not even that, brother. The kingdom is based off all these other. Because when they started building the architecture, it was all structured, man. Go to the architecture of it's all satanic, you know. And who did they get it? Like you got to think, how did they get these masons to do it? They don't get regular masons to do the brickwork, man, or tradesmen to do that kind of work. They get actual people that are degree masons that know how to actually build, right? And they can lay out the different infrastructure and put in secret things that they don't know in this cornerstone and set that up. Because when you go to Manitoba, you have the Manitoba Legislature Center out there in Winnipeg, I think.
Yeah, that's in
where the war is. And that shit, they have a bunch of demonic shit up there too.
Yeah, that's a witch haven.
Yeah. And it's centered in the center of Canada. When you look it up, it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's back in Matthew 24 and 16. Pretty much going to the point of not holding on to things when shit is defined, you know, we're supposed to get out, you know? So this is it says, that let him which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
You're messed with fuck, man. That doesn't need a breakdown.
Verse 20, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation.
And that was back then, right? The Roman Empire.
Yeah.
70 AD.
Yeah, 70 AD.
It says, for then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved.
These days now, man.
You know what? That's the same, the same, I guess, spirit that we were in the 70 AD, scattering from persecution. It's gonna be the same thing now. We're gonna be scattering from persecution, like pilgrims going different places and such like that. And actually, you able to tell me?
Almost done.
Okay, I got a piece of back.
It says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Yeah.
I'm showing you that Most High is only dealing with the elect, right, instead of the whole world. All this is happening is because, you know, one, everybody's getting judgment, but the elect have been sealed, you know. So this is a quick precept, the back of what the brother was reading. This is, so in the same chapter, 2nd Ezra 16 and 66, it says, what will ye do, or how will ye hide your sin before Yahweh and his angels? Behold, Yahweh himself.
Yeah, because these people actually, right now, they don't think they're actually committing wickedness. You know, like our camp, we've been out there how many years? People always come up, who are you guys? You know, who are you guys to tell us we're not doing anything wrong, or God knows my heart? That's a favorite one, right? God knows me, yo. Right? You try to reprove them, which the word reprove means retry, retest. So retest your beliefs, retest what the fuck you're doing, man. We're telling you what you're doing is wrong, and Jake bugs out. They try to fight you. They try to spit on you. They try to throw shit on you. They say they're gonna kill you. They're gonna take your life, one by one. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Bubba drip.
Watch out the camp. Watch when you get done the camp. Watch you.
Even before, man, we're talking about a guy. He came my son. Shoot you guys.
Yeah. And not just us, you know, other brothers, you know,
Around
scattered
there,
abroad.
some brothers got guns pulled on them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, one brother, a war in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The guy got a revolver pointed in his face.
There was a guy at the Bay Camp, I think. He pulled out a gun on him too.
Yeah, They had to curse that guy out immediately in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai.
Hey, the apostles, they told a story, man. Back in the day, they went to forgot where they went, man. It was like a government building.
Oh shoot.
And I think these Edomites came. I think they were neo-Nazis or skinheads, and I think they pulled a gun on them. And then there's right when they did that, a car of I think Ephraimites came. And they pulled a gun on them. They said, "Yo, get the fuck out of here, man. You really good?" That was the most high, man. So yeah, people, man, they require our lives, man. They want our lives. Right? Because all for what, man? We're reproving your darkness. That's all we're doing. And you people love darkness rather than light.
That's right.
Right? That's all we're doing, man. And that tells you that in the book of John 3. The condemnation, man. 3 and 19, 3 and 18. Right? And these people hate, you know, just like cockroaches, man. You go in your kitchen, 3 o'clock in the morning, you turn on the light, and they fucking scatter. They start running. Right? Same thing, man.
Deuteronomy 31 and 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahweh, while Yahweh shine thy power, it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Yeah, the brother of GMS Rexel Flame, he said the building in Ottawa was filled with Masonic symbols. We went to Ottawa.
Yep. 2011.
Yeah, we went. Me and this brother and 2 guys that aren't even in the camp anymore. Right? We went to Ottawa. We prophesied in front of the Parliament building, and he had the RCMP sergeant. He came. He's like, yeah. He's like, what are you guys about? And okay, this. He's seen the signs, and then he just left, man. Because those guys, they're actually better than municipal police.
Yeah, that's right.
You know why? Because they're a step above, man. They have to go through more training legally, right, and tactically. So they're better. But we did a thing. We went in Parliament. We had the video. We did the small documentary.
Yep.
Where we filmed a lot of the shit. They had biblical quotes there.
Yeah.
Inside and outside the engravings, they have a bunch of gargoyles and ghouls and shit.
That's one of the most demonic
Might have been,
places.
man.
That's the most.
On their ways.
That's the most demonic place I've ever been in, man.
Yeah, man.
I thought a Catholic church was as demonic, but that place is even worse because that's Parliament. Parliament goes back to the word meaning court of owls.
Yes, that's right.
Court of Owls?
Court of owls. What do you think in Batman? When you watch Batman, there's a gang called the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
That's actually heavy.
But go back to wisdom, right? And they're trying to say that they're the white ones.
They can see in the dark
Yeah.
because it got the oil in the eyes.
But again, it goes back to Molech, man. These people
Yeah.
are demonic, man.
Mother worship.
Yeah. Oh shit! I was working in a woman's house today, and I seen damn Molech thing. Owls like the chain link. I'm like, what the fuck?
But you guys talk Drake, man. Where do you fuck you think you got the owl from? You just
Exactly.
brought it out one day. Oh, I like the owl.
OVO.
OVO, you know.
Yeah.
You people are just part of a system that sacrifices kids. You don't even know it. Bunch of dumbasses, man.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, the precept.
I got something, yeah, just that one quick, just to back up what Aqua was saying. This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 20. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made, each one for himself to worship to the moles and to the bats. Same thing, like, you know, talking about, do that, they pray to, you know.
Yeah.
They're not gonna deal with them because they're gonna say this is bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. It's gonna be like what was it? Daniel, the trap door.
Oh yeah,
Find
yeah,
out
yeah.
the.
Thank God,
It's just
yeah.
like in I think it was Saw. The guy was behind the door and he was talking to him. And after the guy just left and he's like, hello,
Yeah.
are you there? Don't leave me. Well, that's some demons. The demons are
Yeah.
behind the door. You're talking to him for a little bit, then the devil
Yeah.
what? Deceives you, they leave.
Yeah.
Oh, no more power. To pull the plug. Oh, what the fuck? My shrine and my altar doesn't work. I gotta sacrifice my mother. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This what actually really goes on.
Yeah.
You know. That's why a lot of these serial killers end up getting caught after. The demon leaves them.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
demons
remember
waiting
Son of
for a
Sam?
while, man.
Remember Son of Sam? He said about the dog was telling him what to do.
I remember they always have some ugly looking.
And he was reading the Satanic Bible before he started doing that shit. And he just went on a killer spree. And
The same thing with Carla Homolka and
shit, what's his name? Because I went meet that guy. Went to the same high school.
Paul
Bernardo.
Bernardo.
Yeah.
They were a bunch. They were doing sacrifices with children as well. That's what they're all about, man. They did in Scarborough, then they went out to Niagara.
Yeah, he went to the same. I went to the same high school as that guy, but not at the same time. Like probably 7 years
So
before me.
there was a guy that did videos on different serial killers actually exposed that they were part of psyops,
Oh.
different programs that were set up by different people.
Yeah.
You know, so because there's too many signs, man. You
Yeah.
know, they go into different like a serial killer or something, and they say, look, so many people called in about this guy, and he was never nabbed. You know,
Exactly.
there's so many situations where this guy could have been put to an end.
Hmm.
But even some of the top sergeants in the police force, they're part of it, man.
Yeah, they can't touch him. They can't touch him because there's
There's guys that say, look, you can get this guy, and there's guys that say, back off. You know?
Yeah.
Because remember they were trying to get the guy MacArthur. He was killing off the Batman then.
Yeah.
They were waiting. They were waiting. They couldn't touch him yet.
I'm Grinder.
Yeah. He was killing Batman, and he was a Batman himself.
Seen against Satan.
The house is not standing.
That's crazy.
He was tying up Batman in his belly, killing him off, and turn him into fertilizer. What a way to go.
Okay, yeah, it was actually that wasn't the one I wanted to get, but when he was reading about 70 AD, it was actually this verse. It was verse 71. It was, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Because when the brother was reading about 70 AD and we scattered, and us being in the same spirit here, is because Esau's going to be like a madman, you know, and he's going to be looking for the men of the Lord specifically because we're the only thing that's really a roadblock against his agenda, the New World Order agenda.
Remember the book of Daniel, where his men couldn't break down the writing on the wall,
Oh yeah, kind of, yeah,
right? And then he said, who's the wisest man? They said, there's a wise man in the kingdom.
right.
He said, Daniel. And he said, go find him.
Go find him,
They
yeah.
brought him and they said, look, they put, I think they put, if someone can find that, that's a good scripture, because that's what you're just talking about. They just said, look, I'll give you a crown, I'll make you a governor, I'll put purple on you, which purple is
Royalty
back then
color.
was.
It's the highest.
Because
So the
Jamaica
rare flower.
is,
Rare flower in Brazil, I think.
it's dye, Phoenicians, right?
Yeah.
They dealt with dyes as well.
Yeah.
And to make purple is what? Blue and, is it red?
Red blue.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And And back in ancient world, red was it was precious too as a dye. But those two to mix together, that was royalty. That was considered royalty.
Yeah, that was nice.
In the book of Maccabees, it said, "Let no man put on purple." The Maccabees decreed it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a high, like, you had to be a certain, it was a color of nobility, man, you know, put on that.
Yeah, you just look at
Wasn't,
it. It's the world, man.
wasn't for a regular guy to just put that on, you know, so that's how things operate.
But yeah, that was it on that.
I got a script. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 22. It says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." This is Yahushua speaking, right? "But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the heaven, and in the moon, and in the stars upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's heart failing them for fear."
This is the time we're living in, man. Perilous times, it says, right? In the last days. Right? People are bugging out, man. You know? And the ones that aren't bugging out, they're just ignoring it. They're saying, look, it'll get better.
Yeah,
They're trying to trick them so it'll get better. That's not my business. It'll get better. I'll live through it. You know? But it's just getting worse, man.
Yeah. That, when that serotonin and dopamine runs out.
That denial in people's brain, you know, it's fucking you up, man, because that's a defense mechanism. Your brain just denies it. Look, it'll get better. Don't worry.
Yeah. Because they
That's the same voice when you wake up in the morning. Your alarm goes off. Oh, just stay in bed. Yeah, that's comfortable. You know.
It says, "And for looking after those things which
I
are
feel like
coming
that.
on the earth."
Can't lie.
That's a weak nature, flesh, man.
It is.
That's that bitch voice
It
in your
is.
head,
It
man.
is. It's a
You
bitch.
gotta slap the shit out of it.
It says, "For the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption and draweth nigh." And he spake unto them in a parable.
right, the salvation, you know, is coming to Israel, man. Wisdom of Solomon, 5 and 10 or 5. It's there.
You got Daniel?
I got a quick piece after.
This is Daniel chapter 5, verse 1. Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast to thousands of his lords, and drank wine before the thousands. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and the silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem.
Yeah, so he was having a good time, man. A good royal feast. Right? He wasn't minding anything bad.
And it says that the king and his princes, his wives, and
His wives. Plural.
and his concubines,
That's a side
Mistresses.
light drink therein. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of Yahweh, which was at Jerusalem. And the king and his princes and wives and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, and of wood, and of stone. In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlesticks upon the baluster of the wall of the king's place.
So there was a divine intervention right there, man. You know?
They were bugging out when they see this.
Yeah.
And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed.
He jumped up and said, what the
He's drinking, having fun, his vibes, everything's loud.
Woke up to that one.
His hand right there. They're like, what the heck? This is wine.
Exactly. And then it says, so it says, then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loose.
He was doing shit, you know? Fuck. It makes it get weak.
Shook it.
You know, when your heart drops, man, it's
Yeah.
Oh
weak.
man, fuck.
You know?
Yeah,
You hear some bad news, you drop.
Yeah, your legs just buckle, man. Fuck.
Yeah. And it says, loose, and his knees smote one against another. So that's crazy. He was really frightened. And it says the king cried aloud to bring in astrologers.
So he's attention. He's bringing the fucking, you know?
What is that?
Yeah.
Bringing the guys that can identify it.
See that hand
His whole state of mind just
Flipped. He went from having the conflict to not knowing what the hell's going on.
yeah.
You know, and scared about it too. Terrified about it. It
Yeah,
says,
so this is the Babylonians. These are Cushites, man. Some fucking Ethiopians that are driving Uber right now, man.
Yeah.
You know? Some like, man, how are you? Yeah.
Captain Phillips.
You know? Look at
Hypos.
I'm the captain, man. You know? Some Hamites, man. You know? You look at these nations, you're looking at fuck Moab. You were actually under their captivity, man.
Yeah.
Fucking gook. A lower subhuman, man. A Mongoloidism, man.
yeah.
You know? That's a damn shame, man.
Damn.
That's a shame that we deserve because we shame the Most High.
It's
You can't shame the Most High. The Most High shame your ass. A fucking goop messing with your woman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yuck.
Just messed up, man.
Put him
And these, hey, you Benjamites, you messed up because Moab is he's in your land.
Mm.
You know?
giving you donkey meat. Fuck. You know?
You know? Just a damn shame, man. All these nations, the Syrians, fucking Afghans, they're running, man. Right? So, and it points out they were using the vessels, right? The candlesticks that they got from the temple, that they raided in the temple. So they were using Israelites' things, man. You know, and this was that night, the transition night of the next kingdom. Most I said, you don't even know what's gonna happen,
Yo, that's crazy.
Most I took them out and man,
right? Go ahead.
0 to 100, man.
The king cried aloud to bring forth the astrologers,
Yep.
the Chaldeans.
Yep. Which Chaldeans, they were Babylonians, but they're a sect of witches of the Babylonians. They were like the warlocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the priesthood, right? Because in certain societies, like the Mayans and Aztecs, if you're a priest or back then it was a witch priest, right? You were right below the king and the royalty, right? Because you had supposedly powers, right? Which, if you were really in tune with the demons, you did. On the left hand side, they were sacrificing people, right? Watch the movie, what is that, Apocalypse? That was the Mayans, right?
And it says, and the soothsayers and the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet.
Which is red. So that's another royal color, right? We're going into purple as well, which red.
And have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom.
Esau love giving Jake gold chains, man. The first thing Jake buys some gold to spend money, man.
And it says, then came in all the king's wise
But
men.
it's royal to have that, and remember that's real money.
Yeah.
So you should have that like in your possession at least, you know. But don't go overboard. Some of these guys go fucking over.
Jake, 20 chains, man.
Yeah.
Chain.
Trying to go Mr. T.
No,
Mr.
but
T.
not even
only-
Mr. T, man. Now these Jakes, you just see a boxer, you know, have like 10
Yeah.
fucking chains, right?
Where's the Jake with a gold chain with Bart Simpson or something?
Mr. T only had those chains for a reason. Well, I was just, I slack you. I didn't explain. Mr. T only had those chains because he had to do the security guard and he had to pick up chains and stuff. So he just kept them, and when certain guys inquired of them or whatever, he gave them back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one account because what's his name, Joseph, when he was awarded that position in Egypt, they put a gold chain around him. So that's significant. That's a part of our heritage too.
But that's what these mirrors do now. They get that chain that goes back to that. Like when you're married, they get that chain signifies that you're a mirror.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it says,
That's how you know Jay's world, man.
Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known the king the interpretation thereof. Then was the king Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, lives forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in the kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And in the day of thy father, in thy father's light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of gods.
See, so they kind of said like, look, this guy's, they didn't say the Most High is doing because they worshipped other gods.
Yeah.
And that's like these people, they try to associate like, yeah, you're part of that thing.
Yeah.
They try to associate with their thing, like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, they still try to take.
They don't really know. Because the Most High hid his face from everybody, man. We're here to tell you about the Most High, man. We're his ambassadors, right? We're here set up to tell you, look, the Most High, there's one power, he has a son, the son's coming back. And people are all, majority of people are fucked up, man.
Sure. And it says, of gods, and was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, I say, thy father made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers, for as much as an excellent spirit, the knowledge and understanding, interpretation of dreams, and showing of hard sentences, and dissolving of doubts were found in the same Daniel, who the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. It shows you that even then, like among the heathens and among I guess not rulership, but he wasn't in slavery, but he was still in captivity. They still recognized him because the Most High was dealing with him, even through all of that, you know. And that's
because remember Daniel 1, he did the test. He said, look, I'll eat the cuts for 10 days.
Right.
You guys eat the king's meat, and then we'll come back, reunite, and we'll see who looks better.
And that's like today's day, like, you know, quickly, like, sometimes I have, like, you know, so-called Christian clients who ask their pastors for questions that they can't get, and they ask me for about it, because, you know, they know I'm a man of faith and I'm into the Bible. Even though they know I don't really agree at all with what the church speaks, they still will ask me the question because they still see the light, you know, the Spirit of the Most High dealing with me, just like they did with Daniel back then. Even though they had their gods that they worship and that they proclaim and they were proud about, they'll still come to you because at the end of the day, the Most High has the truth.
Yeah,
you know,
they still come to you for your counsel.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, that happened with Moses too, man.
Yeah,
right?
But one thing that they all have in common, every man of the Lord, is, yeah, they're wise, but it takes a certain time. It takes time for that to build, for you to build a reputation. Because it wasn't all smooth for Daniel. You know, he had trials and tribulations while he was proving people wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, proving himself. Yeah.
Remember the scripture, it says in Isaiah, or another one about, just came to my head. We shall be brought to the kings and the nobles. To the kings and the nobles. So every kingdom that we're indentured slave servants to at a certain time, when that king was ready to fall, they had to inquire of the prophets, right? Because it was that they seen certain signs that matched up with what was proclaimed, prophesied out of the scriptures that our forefathers declared, and it came to pass. So they had to inquire, man, because they had to feel the wrath of the Almighty, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day. That's
You
right.
know, because it happened with Pharaoh, man.
Yeah.
First example was Pharaoh. You know, he had to inquire of Moses. He didn't listen to Moses. He had to keep on inquiring of him. He had to stand before him, and you know, and he had to tell him what was the Mosai's, you know, the next plague that was coming about, man.
Right.
And he got fucked. And then Egypt got the fucked up, man. He got fucked up, you know.
And it says, that verse 13. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake, and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of thee that the Spirit of God is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But they could not show the interpretation thereof, the interpretation of things. And I have heard of thee that thou canst make interpretations into someone else. Now if thou canst read this writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let thy gift be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the Most High Yahweh gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom, a majesty and glory of honor. And for the majesty.
So basically, you just have to buy low.
Yeah.
Give him gift, but now they keep your gifts, right? But I'll still tell you what's up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Jake would take the gift and sell out.
Sell out.
But you remain devoted to Yahweh Shem Shah.
That's right. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people. Let's not read that again. So verse 18, O thou king, the Most High Yahweh gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory of honor, and for the majesty that he gave all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he slew, and whom he kept alive, and whom he set up, and whom he put down. But when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And he was driven from the sons of man, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High Yahweh ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whomsoever he will. And we're in the same time right now anyways, because the kings of this kingdom, which being the banking families, they're on a pride too. They're on a high, and they think that after everything's said and done, that they're still going to rule.
Well, that's what I said. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
That's right, and they even will tell you that in the Georgia Guidestones, 500 million people to survive, and that's only the rich. right? They think that they're gonna be the ones to take over the world, right? But really, it's Yahushua.
And again, who actually set those fucking guidestones up? They have to get real masons to
Yeah,
believe shit, and they're writing, yeah.
Yeah.
They're part of it, man. They have
Yeah,
certain
that's right.
people that are actually
That's right.
masons that are in
Set up,
certain
yeah.
degrees, but they know how to actually build structures, man.
That's right.
Yeah, and the reason why Esau thinks that he's gonna overcome is because he studies past kingdoms, right? So Esau thinks he's done everything to fortify himself from the judgment of the Most High. That's why there's GMOs, right? That's why they have genetically modified organisms, right? So they can beat the pestilence, right? Right? That's why they have what? They have the homes where they're gonna live out of space, man. Because you have Esau that when the destruction comes on this place, they're gonna be out of here, man. Like Richard Branson and those guys,
Yeah.
right? He might not be on it, but they have that concept of where they're gonna fly out on a spaceship and go onto some space dock where they have food, women,
Yeah.
everything out there, and they're gonna be chilling out there, man, because they think they could beat the Most High.
Logan is
Elysium.
running.
Remember Elysium?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Elysium. They show you that, man, Damon.
Logan's
They
run.
have underground bunkers. They got underwater bunkers, right?
They have pig's hearts where they do heart surgery.
Who's
So
that
they,
guy? Kane.
yeah, Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney. Yeah.
Yeah, Dick Cheney.
It's
man.
like Kane.
So they think, and they think they can beat the Most High with the meshing their human bodies with the biotech, man.
Yeah, kind of.
Half man, half machine.
Transhumanism.
Trans
That's what
transhumanism.
They're trying to get to God mode, basically.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
And it says, verse 22, and thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart. Thou knowest, though thou knowest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord Yahweh of heaven.
Yeah, because one thing the Lord hates is a haughty look, man. So never mind the haughty mind. You know, he hates you looking proud. Never mind even thinking or being proud, man.
And it says, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and of gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the power in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways hast thou not glorified.
Yeah, so you guys, a lot of people are thinking that these new ways, or so-called new ways, are new. These things are old, man. These guys praising rocks, that's old. Gold, silver, that's old, man. Right? What do you think that is when you watch the NBA championship? What do you think that is when they get the Oscar? What do you think that is? That's the same thing that they did in the times past, man. Worshipping a gold ox. Right? That's the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, man. When you see these guys accepting the award and they're hugging the basketball trophy, kissing it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I accomplished you.
MVP and everything.
You changed my life.
And you get the ring.
Yeah,
You get the ring.
And the ring.
Right, which goes back to Saturn, man. It's which is what the majority of these people in this world are. They're Saturnians, man. Really, they go back to the Kabbalah, right? Because it goes all the way back to Jewish mysticism, man. Everything goes back to them dirty ass Khazars, man. Right, with their tree of life, or with the woman worship. Where do you think woman worship really comes from? Them Khazars, man. Right? Them Khazars have something known as the Shekinah, right? And that Shekinah spirit, or that Shekinah energy, is where they get the feminine worship from, because before that, there was no such thing as the feminine worship. It was always, everyone knew that the energy of the Most High, or God, was a male.
Really, even they all stole from the Hamites.
Yeah,
man.
Kushite.
That's right.
Kushites.
It all goes back to the Trinity, man. The unholy Trinity. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz, man.
Sure.
Right? So even the Khazars, they stole that shit from Esau. Who he married first, man? The Canaanites.
Sure.
Right? So their gods, man, they took on different gods, man. Right?
And it says, verse 25, it's like verse 24, and then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, Tekel, upon risen. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, Yahweh hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balance and art found wanting.
And that's where you get the whole mindset of numbers from. You'll see these Luciferians, they're big into what? Numbers. Whether it's 9/11, whether it's 7/11, whether it's 666, whatever the number is, they're big into math equations. Numerology, right? But they're big into numerology on the left-hand side. It's numerology that gets you your what's it called? Your zodiac. When you deal with zodiacs are big into numerology as well. But on the left-hand side, that's all Luciferianism, man.
Yeah, the Lord deals with a math or math. On the right-hand side.
On the
The
right
Lord's a
side.
mathematician.
That's right.
Because he's very precise. When you read different oils he makes, he told me he's 30 shekels of this, 40, it's all
This amount
he
of
tells you about,
ephod.
when he tells you about how to make a building, he says this amount of cedar, this amount of pine. It's very precise, man.
That's right.
Right? Carpentry, when you're dealing with carpentry, it's not, oh, I'm guessing. You have a blueprint,
Our bodies.
measurement.
Our
There
bodies.
you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
It says, verse 28, Peres, thy kingdom is divided.
And that shows you the Lord. Remember, he said, measure the temple of the God of the Most High, right? But the court that is without, don't measure.
Cast them out.
You know, that's the court of the Gentiles. So,
That's right.
you know, in the trades, man, 1/16 can make a difference.
Yeah.
The guy yells out, give me 3 and 1/16, and you go, where's 1/16? Oh, half. He said, what the fuck is this?
Measurement.
1/16, 3/16, no, all that shit makes a difference. man.
Precise.
One of the biggest things, man, when you see a trades guy, what is the first thing you see? A tape measure, man.
Yeah.
One, before you see a hammer or screwdriver or anything, man, you see a fucking measurement.
Yeah, the math comes up first, man.
Truth, that's the truth. You gotta measure.
That comes out first.
It says, verse 28,
So then the Lord say that even the water has a distance that it can go. Can't even pass
That's
that.
right, that's right.
yeah.
Kind.
Verse 28,
Like you
Peres.
said, the very hairs on your head are numbered, man.
Yeah, her numbers.
That's, you know, plays a significant.
Well, Salaki, I was watching something with that guy Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? And he was going into the tape measure, and he's saying like the measurement, like if you measure something and you hit the line within the measurement, like let's say if something's 4 feet, and you measure it in that line, what's the distance in between that line? So technically, measurement is whatever you make it. So the measurement that the Lord gives you is whatever He made. You really can't put a number on what
Yes.
the Lord does because He can't be numbered.
That's right.
So that's what you get out of the significance when it comes to measurement, which is the scriptures.
Yeah.
You can't put a number on it, actually.
That's right. Verse 28, Peres, it says, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then commanded Belshazzar, and thy clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar, the king of Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old.
Yeah, Darius, he was, not mistaken. It says he was a Median, right? Because that was the medieval Persian Empire,
Yeah.
right? Which was, Medes were who? They weren't Persians or or Babylonians, they were Japheth. That was Japheth. So Japheth ruled first. Then you have the Persian Empire, was called Ruler Persian Empire. You know, that was it.
Yeah,
We'll bring out one more precept and close out.
Yeah, I'll finish this one up. This is 2nd Ezra 16:71. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord Yahweh. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in fire. Hear, O ye, my beloved, and saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
So that's why we need to stop on no food, make the Lord. That's where faith lies, man. And the Lord, Yahweh.
That's right.
Can't turn it.
And it says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide.
That's right.
And the guide of them who keep
Yeah,
my
so a
commandments.
guide is, what is a guide, man? A guide is a person that shows you the way, right? You don't know the way, you're wholeheartedly dependent on this person to show you the way. If he's a crook in this world, he can mess you up, man. You guide, yeah, that way and here and turn left and drive off a bridge somewhere, man. You know, or drive into the ditch.
Yeah.
So you're wholeheartedly believing, so that takes faith. People say, you've been doing this thing for 10, 20, 30 years, man. Where's your guide?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta wholeheartedly believe, have faith. Look, this is the way, this is the guide. This is the way they're showing that things are gonna go. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen.
And it says, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities. Sin. I know that word.
It's not barely light over there, that's why.
Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up thyself. That's it on that.
One script. This is Joshua chapter 23, verse 9. It says, for the Lord has driven out from before you great nation and strong, but as for you, no man has been able to stand before you unto this day. One man of you shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your power, Yahweh, it is that fighteth for you, as he has promised you. So take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord Yahushua, Yahweh. And that's it.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna close up. We want to say all praises, the honors unto the apostles of Gms who rule well, you know the truth from, and salutations and happy Pesach, happy New Year to your brothers out there that are keeping it. All right, shalom and shalom. Death and destruction to this place, man.
Death and destruction to this place.
About the bomb.
Abad Babah.
From your
Shalom.